Today, I'm going to give all you shift workers, yep, that's right, all my police, fire, military, EMS, and nurses out there. I'm going to give you two great options to take care of your landscaping and curb appeal. And I'm going to explain why it's important that you don't overlook that stuff when you're getting ready to list your home for sale. Coming up, it's Steve Dooley. Hey, it's Steve with First Responder Real Estate. We provide our first responder personnel with home selling and buying tactics and strategies that'll make your next transaction go smoothly and be worry-free. Let's rewind a bit. Let's go back to the last brutal 24-hour shift you experienced. Heck, that might have been last night. You just got off work from your stand-up 24-hour shift last night and you're brutally tired. And the last thing you want to do right now is go out into the blistering heat, pull weeds and trim trees and do some landscaping. But your realtor recommended that you get the yard cleaned up before the listing goes live, so you reluctantly drudge out to the shed and get your tools. The thought of doing landscaping on your day off really sucks, but you know that you must sell your home fast and get the best price possible so you can move into that bigger house that you promised your wife and kids. Oh yeah, and don't forget the pool. So the first option we're talking about here on landscaping is to simply DIY it. You know, just do the work yourself. And that's cool if you don't mind putting in the effort and losing a few more hours sleep. So here's a few of the items you need to make sure you take care of in the landscaping in your front yard and to get that excellent curb appeal. Trim all the trees and make sure you get them off the house. Inspectors and appraisers will call out any trees that are touching the building. Trim all the bushes and shrubs. We want everything to be uniform. I mean, you know how that is at work, right? Everything uniform, everybody looks the same. Same with the bushes and shrubs. If applicable, rake up your leaves. Or if you're like me out here in Arizona, you can pick up the mesquite beans. And get rid of all the debris. Get all the rocks off the walkway, sweep the porch, and just tidy up everything in the yard. One last thing to note as far as landscaping goes is be sure you service your irrigation and drip systems. This is super important because, again, it always gets called out on a home inspection, and it's always some nitpicky little $20 thing that you'll have to fix, or the buyer could walk away from the deal if you don't agree to it. So make sure everything's working, make sure your irrigation's working, test it out, and fix it up. Now, DIY landscaping is definitely a viable option. I mean, you could break it into small chunks, especially if you start early. Hopefully after watching this video, you'll have time, a few weeks maybe, before you really need to get it done. So you could just simply do it for 30 minutes, like right when you come home from shift, prior to your nap. Now, of course, there is another way to take care of landscaping, and in my opinion, a better way. It's more like an easy button, and that is to simply just hire a landscaper to do all this work. I know money's probably tight and you're saving up for down payments, but honestly, after your recent promotion, you can easily pick up an ED shift and spend, $200 to $500 and have a professional landscaper make everything picture perfect for you. If I got worked over all night running calls, I'd hire the landscaper, just saying. So we've given you two options to take care of the landscaping, get the curb appeal right where it needs to be prior to listing and everything. Now the question begs, why is it so important to nail the landscaping and the curb appeal? By now, you've probably figured out that your yard shouldn't really look like Sanford & Sons. And by now, you probably already know that with excellent curb appeal and good out front landscaping, your home will sell faster and you will get a better price. But the main reason why it's imperative to have great curb appeal and take care of your landscaping is many buyers won't even look at your beautiful home if the front is not appealing when they walk up to it. And that means not very many showings. And with not many showings, you're not going to find yourself in that multiple offer situation that you were dreaming for. So whether you decide to go DIY, take care of it yourself, or maybe if you're like me, you could have a teenager you could force to do it, or you decide to take some of that hard-earned overtime money and invest in hiring a landscaper, or heck, you could probably get some bee shifters to do it for some beer, right? Either way you go, you can now see why it's super important to get that curb appeal handled. Also, one more thing to note, if it's not very obvious to you, make sure all this work is done prior to taking any photos that you're going to place on MLS or online. It would really suck to go through the trouble to get all this work done only to have somebody take pictures of it prior to it happening. Now that you've got a couple options to take care of the landscaping and curb appeal, and you've learned why that is super important and how it'll add a few $1,000s to the sale price of your home, watch the next video in this series where we dive into yet another way to make more money when selling your home. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.